Mayor, I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council for June 15th, 2023, to order at 7:01 p.m. On roll call, we have council members Dennis. Here. Golombek. Here. Fasolo.
Here.
Pellegrin.
Here.
Sheridan.
Here.
Council President Ballestieri.
Here.
Mayor Coletti.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Shanae. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How is everybody this evening? Good? Okay, you should be, because we've got an exciting evening ahead of us. We are going to honor two firemen who have spent 50 years in the fire department. No, you're a youngster there, Sal. You're only 27 years old. 50 years collectively, that's 100 years of experience. And we have them right here in this room tonight, ladies and gentlemen. So it's going to be a good moment for this council and for the two recipients. But first, we must take care of business. Would everybody please rise for our prayer and flag salute? Pastor Ron, please.
Give them your wisdom, give them your fortitude on making all decisions right for your people. Father God, we just thank you for the two recipients. 100 years, a century of service. We thank you for your divine protection over them during these years. We thank you for your kindness that you have given them during these years. We ask you, we honor you, your majesty, and your dominion in your heavenly name. And we all say, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ladies and gentlemen, I was remiss. We have an additional presentation, also the Residence Assistant Program, that we will be coming up shortly. Whereas Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of the State of New Jersey require at the commencement of every meeting a statement of compliance be read by the presiding officer. Now, therefore, be advised that the meeting requirements for this meeting have been met and published a special meeting notice in the Record and Herald News and by posting such notice in the office of the Borough Clerk, as well as in a public place within the municipal building. Also, by notifying interested citizens, said notice was posted and transmitted on January 6th, 2023, and published on January 10th, 2023. Shanae?
Thank you. Mayor, at this time, we will have the Residence Assistance Program presentation to Aziz, and I'm going to turn the meeting over to Councilwoman Lorraine Pellegrin, the Residence Assistant Program Coordinator.
Good evening, everyone. Tonight we'll be recognizing the Aziz volunteers for all they do for our community to help those in need. The volunteers have been working in our community for the last 6 years. They help those in need by doing leaf cleanup in the fall, and they also do town-wide cleanups for the borough. They also come with several volunteers and are always eager to help wherever we need them. They are professionals, hardworking, and kind to all. So tonight, the Mayor and Council would like to honor all of you for all that you give to our community. At this time, I would like to ask Mayor Coletti, Chief Feligno, to join me for the presentation. I think we can hear, right? Good to see you.
How are you?
Good to see you again, Chief. Good to see you, Mayor Coletti. Congratulations on the running again.
Friendship, you want to read it?
We'll see what happens. I'm going to thank you really for that. Hello. Nice to meet you. Okay, all smiles. Look at this.
So tonight we would like to present you with this award. It's a Making a Difference Award to Aziz. with sincere appreciation for your outstanding service to the Residents Assistance Program for helping those in need in our community. We thank you all from the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council. So, this is for you guys. But I'd just like to say, we've been working with this group for the last 6 years, and the work they put into our community is second to none. They're always here for us, whatever we need done, they do. We say, oh, all of a sudden we need a cleanup, and there's an area that's really bad. They'll be here for us. They help at the pantry. They help with the leaf cleanup. They're unbelievable, and they usually come with at least 40 to 80 volunteers. No questions asked, always look professional. And from our residents, we get nothing but beautiful comments on how loving they are and how helpful they are. They work hand in hand with our police department. So we're so excited to have them here tonight and to honor all of you. Thank you. Council, if you come down for a picture. We'd like to take a picture with you guys. So, yep.
Let me use this one, Candy.
Thank you. So I just want to say on behalf of ASEZ and all the volunteers, how thankful we are to have met Lorraine and have been able to help out in the Elmwood Park community. We're really thankful for the opportunity to be able to share God's teachings, not only with our church's teaching and belief as we're taught by Heavenly Mother at our church, Church of God, but also to put it into practice. So it all started from a conversation when Lorraine and I met. She didn't know who I was, and I didn't know who she was. I just thought she was a very fancy lady, and I wanted to have a conversation with her. So from that friendship, we were able to have a relationship with the town and the church together to be able to share God's love and help our neighbors in need. So we're really thankful to be able to keep the relationship going, and hopefully it continues, and we continue to strengthen each other on the way. So
Thank you. I would just like to say how important this is. Think about this. These people come from other towns, and they come into our town to help us out.
Ready? Let's pause. 1, 2, 3. Cheese. All right.
Okay, Mayor, at this time, I'm going to turn the meeting over to you with the honoring of our active firemen.
Thank you, Shanae. Okay, on my part, I know these two gentlemen that we'll be honoring here this evening for quite some time, not quite 50 years, but I know them for quite some time. So it's a privilege to be able to make the presentation to these two individuals. I'll start with congratulations, Ken Pressler, on your 50 years of anniversary. Just some facts about how Ken got here to this evening. It took him all this time to get here. Ken is a lifelong resident of Elmwood Park. He's been married to Peg for 47 years, and she serves on the Ladies Auxiliary for the fire department. Together, they have 2 children, Ken and Mike. Both have served as fire chiefs and are proud grandparents to 4 grandchildren. 4, nice. I'm jealous, I only have 2. Through his 50 years, he has continued to educate himself by attending many training classes, always hungry for knowledge in this field. Ken has held quite a few impressive positions in the department: lieutenant, captain, assistant chief, and chief. And he also continues to be on the active member of the Elmwood Park Fire Department. Tonight, we salute your 50 years of service, Ken. Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we honor Joseph Mikovic. Joe? He is celebrating 50 years of service to our community. Joseph is a lifelong resident of Elmwood Park, and together with his wife, Monica, they have raised their son, Joseph Jr., and loving grandparents to their grandchildren. James, he retired in 2017 from the United States Postal Service and now considers himself a professional homeowner. How's that working out, Joe? It's more than a full-time job, right? Joe began his long career as a fireman on January 21st, 1973, at the age of 17. He also was a member of the East Patterson Fire Rescue, which was a division of the Beryl Civil Defense Unit. At the age of 19, he joined the Defenders Fire Company No. 3, soon, due to his hard work and dedication, climbed the ranks and served as chief for 2 years. Joseph has made many friends over the last 5 decades. Is that correct? Yeah. Not just within the department, but throughout the county. Today, he's an active senior member of the Elmwood Park Fire Department, sharing his experiences with the junior members. Thank you, Joseph, for your 50 years of service. Prior to the meeting, Joe has shared a picture of the 2 original fire trucks, and they were located right on the corner of Locust and River Road. You're still here? Got a direction to it?
Our playground is a million fire.
I'm sorry if you don't have the facility to show you those pictures, but there was a 46 man. 57 secret. Oh, that was a secret? Imagine if we had them today. One more time. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have council comments. After that, then we're going to take a short break. We'll start with Councilwoman Dennis.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to say congratulations to Mr. Pressler and Mr. Milokovic. Did I say that properly? Milokovic? What is it? Okay, I said that. Thank you for your hard work and dedication to the fire department. It's truly an inspiration to others. You've worked diligently for 50 years to ensure that our community is safe, and we are grateful for your service that you have provided. Congratulations on such a remarkable milestone. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Ballesteri.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to congratulate Mr. Miklovic and Mr. Pressler on your 50 years of service for our Elmwood Park Fire Department. Giving 50 years is absolutely amazing, because just the time you have to give up with your families and you know, everything else that goes on in your life. It's very, very rare to see that. And I'm sure many firemen would love to get to that point, but it's almost impossible today. So it's really commendable of what you've done and put your time in, and I can tell you we recognize it, we appreciate it, and very proud of both of you for what you've done for our community. So thank you, thank you, thank you 50 times over.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Are we also doing both?
Oh, sure.
Are we doing both? And I also want to say thank you to the ZES for all you do for our community. We appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you, Mayor.
Okay. Councilman Fasolo?
Thank you, Mayor. Mr. Pressler and Mr. Miklovic, for the last 50 years, both of these men have served their community and saved countless lives in the process. They've served with dignity and integrity. You are both a huge stone in the foundation of our great community. Thank you for your commitment to our community, and God bless.
Thank you, Councilman. I was remiss when I said Mrs. Ballesteri's name. It's Council President Ballesteri. Forgive me for that. Councilwoman Pellegrini?
Yes, congratulations to Ken Pressler and Joseph Milikovic. I'm saying this a little wrong, I hope not. It's okay? Okay. I want to thank you for all you've accomplished. It's remarkable. 50 years of active service to our Elmwood Park Fire Department is simply amazing. To risk your lives on a daily basis to save others' life is truly heroic. Thank you for all you both have given to our great community over these years. It is truly an honor to recognize your dedication to our community and its residents. Congratulations to you both and your families, and may God continue to always, always bless both of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Pellegrini, thank you. Councilwoman Sheridan?
Yes, thank you, Mayor. To Ken and Joe, I'm not even going to attempt the last names. I'm not going to butcher them, okay? So I'm just going to stick with Ken and Joe, okay? I just want to say thank you for your service. Thank you to all our firefighters. My uncle was a firefighter back in your day. It was rough growing up. You're leaving the house in the middle of the night, not knowing what you're going into, not knowing if you're coming back. I give you guys a lot of credit. To our younger guys, I give you a lot of credit. Everybody needs to stay safe, and God bless. Thank you.
Councilman Golombek?
Thank you, Mayor. I think we can probably count on 2 or 3 hands how many people in Elmwood Park, East Patterson, have the distinction that these two gentlemen are getting here tonight. That's really, really important to say. This isn't a ceremony that we do very often. I think there was one a couple years ago, actually, for Mr. Pressler's brother. And then these things come every 5, 7, 10 years. This isn't an annual thing. To Mr. Miklovic, thank you. Congratulations. 50 years to this town is just incredible. We thank you for that. Same for Mr. Pressler, thank you. Two little observations I've made over the years about Mr. Pressler. I grew up in the same neighborhood as Mr. Pressler and the Presslers, and I would see him walking with his wife around the neighborhood, and he'd have his walkie-talkie in his hand. And all I could think is that he's walking great, but he's picking a route so that if a call comes in, he's close enough to get home and get to the firehouse. And I think I'm right about that. And that's just tremendous. And I commend you for that, because that's dedication like I've never seen before. And number two, the council gets reports every quarter for the entire fire department about call response rates, percentages, and everything. And I look at the report every quarter, and Mr. Pressler, despite 50 years in of active service, every quarter, 70, 80, 90+% of calls still, which is absolutely tremendous, and that deserves its own ovation. And I just want to conclude, as the fire commissioner from the council, that this council, mayor and council, supports our fire department as much as it does any other emergency service branch. If it makes sense, if it's going to make the town safer, you guys safer, or you guys better off, we will do it. And we've shown that. And if there's anything else we can do to make the town safer, to make you safer, to make you more whole, don't hesitate to bring it forward. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilman. I had the privilege many years ago as the liaison of the council to serve with Ken Pressler, also with his son Michael. Joe, I don't think that I was a councilman serving as a liaison when you were chief, but that gave me great insight on the values and the sacrifice that fire people go through. And it's not just themselves, it's the burden and sacrifice that their family have to go through. Holiday is not a holiday. In the back of your mind, that whistle can blow, and you have to serve. Now think about that 50 times. It's tremendous. Thank you very much, both of you. We're going to take a short break. If you'd like to stay, you're welcome. If not, I'm sure you've got a party to go to. Okay, yeah. If you would please, we want to get some pictures with the mayor and council.
Mayor, I'd like to reestablish a quorum for the June 15th regular meeting of the Elmwood Park Mayor and Council. On roll call, we have council members Dennis. Here. Golombek. Here. Fasolo.
Here.
Pellegrin.
Here.
Sheridan. Here. Council President Ballesteri.
Here.
Mayor Coletti.
Here.
We have reestablished a quorum. At this time, we will go to our ordinances on first reading. We have Resolution R-227-23, introduce ordinance number 23-20 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance establishing a four-way stop at the intersections of Willow Street and Orange Avenue, Willow Street and Elizabeth Avenue, and to amend Chapter 7 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park titled Traffic, more specifically Section 7-21 titled Multi-Way Stops Intersections, be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, July 20th, 2023 at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as same can be heard, at which time any persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and she is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
Okay, I don't think we need to break this down. It's a cut and dry four-way stop sign. May I have a motion on the ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
First by Pellegrin, second by Fasolo. On roll call, we have council members Dennis.
Yes.
Fasolo.
Yes.
Golombek. Pellegrin.
Yes.
Sheridan.
Yes.
Council President Ballesteri.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-228-23, introduce ordinance number 23-21 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, an ordinance establishing a four-way stop at the intersections of Stefanik Avenue and Meyer Street, and to amend Chapter 7 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park titled Traffic, more specifically Section 7-21 titled Multi-Way Stop Intersections, be passed and adopted on first reading, and be resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, July 20th, 2023 at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as same can be heard, at which time any persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and she is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
This is self-explanatory, four-way stop sign again. May I have a motion on the ordinance?
So moved.
Any discussion? Call the roll, please.
First by Fasolo, second by Pellegrin. On roll call, we have council members Dennis.
Yes.
Fasolo.
Yes.
Golubek.
Yes.
Pellegrin.
Yes.
Sheridan.
Yes.
Council President Ballasteri.
Yes.
Motion carries. Resolution R-229-23, introduce ordinance number 23-22 on first reading. Be it resolved that an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amending and supplementing the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park, Chapter 22, entitled Streets and Sidewalks, more specifically Section 22-1.15, entitled Restoration by Permittee, so as to include certain language clarifying the obligation and responsibilities set forth therein, be passed and adopted on first reading, and be it resolved that a final hearing on said ordinance will be heard in the municipal building on Thursday, July 20th, 2023 at 7:00 p.m. or as soon thereafter as same can be heard, at which time any persons interested in said ordinance can be heard. Be it further resolved that the Borough Clerk be and she is hereby authorized to advertise in a legal newspaper a notice of introduction and final hearing as required by law.
I'm going to turn this over to our attorney, Mr. Ingraffia.
Mayor, I would like to request that this ordinance be tabled since the time that I prepared the ordinance, presented it for this hearing. I've had discussions with the engineer, Mr. Tom Leibowitz from Alimo Group. He has other suggestions and recommendations with the rest of that part of the ordinance, which he would like to address with me in order that we can clarify and make that whole ordinance with regards to street opening and sidewalks and so forth more specific and to allow more coverage and protection for the borough. So at this time, based on my conference with the engineer, the borough engineer, I'm going to request that the council table this ordinance until we tweak it and make it a lot better.
Thank you, Sal. A motion to table.
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Will you need to call a roll on that, or is it all in favor?
I can call the roll.
You can call the roll.
Yes.
Call the roll.
Table by Fasolo, second by Pellegrin. On roll call, we have council members Dennis.
Yes.
Fasolo. Golubek.
Yes.
Pellegrin. Yes. Sheridan.
Yes.
Council President Ballasteri.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to ordinances on second reading, we have Resolution R-230-23, reintroduce ordinance number 23-04 on second reading, whereas the public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Adopting Redevelopment Plan for Block 1808, Lots 7 and 9, in accordance with the local redevelopment and housing law, was introduced and passed in a meeting held on Thursday, May 18th, 2023, and that further consideration of this ordinance will be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given the opportunity to be heard concerning the same. Now therefore it be resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, An Ordinance Adopting Redevelopment Plan for Block 1808, Lots 7 and 9, in accordance with the local redevelopment and housing law, passed on final reading.
May I have a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Anyone from the public here to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance alone? Yes, ma'am. In the mic, please, Lenore.
Push the button on the one that's on the table there.
That's it, the permanent, yeah.
Just have one question.
Yes, ma'am.
You want to pass a four-way stop sign at Meyer and Stefanik.
It's-
No.
It's
It has to
only,
do with the ordinance, this ordinance about Lot 1803,
Okay.
7 and 9.
okay,
When they first came to you and proposed design of the facility, they said it was going to be a one-way out to Route 46. So what good is having a four-way stop sign if it's only going to be going out to Route 46?
So what are you saying, it should be three-way?
Well, if that was the proposal,
Yeah.
that the facility was going to have, that Meyer Street was only going to be from Stefanik to Route 46 out,
One way.
one way to Route 46, why have a four-way stop
Well,
sign? Because you can't come in this way.
I think, Lenore, obviously, if we changed the street from two-way to one-way, we're not going to need that stop sign there. Am I right in that assumption there, Mr. Fligno?
Correct, Mayor, but we're not there yet, and we're worried about today. We're not worried about tomorrow. When tomorrow comes, we'll deal with tomorrow.
Okay.
And why is that stop sign being put up there? I just don't understand.
Well,
because-
before, and I'll have the police chief correct me if I'm wrong, before we come up with the thought, it is investigated. Our traffic expert goes out there, clocks the traffic, sits there and takes in whatever data he needs in order to make a determination. And there's a certain point where it justifies whether or not there should be a stop sign there.
So a traffic study has been done.
I would assume that's the case.
Traffic study was done, accidents were accounted for, pedestrian accidents were accounted for, everything was accounted for when they determined. that
That's
this-
our procedure. Now, whether, if you're backing
Just
me,
asking.
backing me into a corner to say that's been done, I don't know that for sure. But that's our procedure.
So somebody has an answer for that?
Mayor, I have a question for Ms. Lenore. You mentioned that, who said that Meyer was going to turn into a one-way
At the
heading?
last meeting, when the planner was here, he had it on his plan that it was going to be a one-way going out.
He's right there.
Do I need to speak into a microphone?
Yes, please speak. Just for the record, your name.
Francis Reiner, professional planner, DMR. The redevelopment plan for 401, 407, Route 46 does not show Meyer as a future one-way. It has arrows showing a two-way, which is what it is today.
Okay?
Okay. Thank you. Any other questions while we have our planner here? If not, I will close the public portion. May I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion on this? Call the roll, please.
First by Fasolo, second by Pellegrini, and roll call, we have council members Dennis.
Yes.
Fasolo,
Yes.
Golubek,
Yes.
Pellegrini,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Council President Ballasteri.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have Resolution R-231-23, introduced ordinance number 23-18 on second reading, whereas a public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance to Fix the Salary, Wage, and Compensation of the Officers, Employees, and Servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, for the year 2023," was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, May 18, 2023, and that further consideration of this ordinance will be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same. Now therefore be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance to Fix the Salary, Wage, and Compensation of the Officers, Employees, and Servants of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, for the year 2023," passed on final reading.
May I have a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Anyone from the public here to speak on this ordinance? In this ordinance alone? Please state your name, rank, and serial number.
You don't want that much information on it. Mike Bufus, 14 Phillip Ave. Could I just have a little clarification on some of these? All the ones that have a salary dash another salary, is that what it's going up to? The increase in salary?
Yes, please.
So, Mr. Bufus, our auditors have asked or required our CFO to incorporate the money that an employee can earn, which means there's certain benefits that they can get by folding in vacation pay, holiday pay and sick pay in certain circumstances. So the auditors say, if you pay that out, we need it captured in the ordinance, whether you pay it out or not. So it's a range that what their floor is and what their ceiling could be. So that's why there's a dash and a grade.
Because some of them look like a 25% pay increase.
If, well, it's not a pay increase, it's a stipend in a collective bargaining agreement or in the salary ordinance itself, where employees can turn time in for pay that they don't use.
So some employees can increase their yearly salary by 25%
They
by
can,
putting in for that.
correct. But it
Do-
doesn't go towards
Was-
pension,
was-
it's not computed towards your base salary,
Right.
which is what's pensionable.
Okay.
So they
and
can't get pension on that.
I know you mentioned Mr. Rigatano. Was he involved in this? Do we have the funds to do that if everybody does put in for this?
We do,
We do.
yes.
It's not going to increase our taxes on this.
No, he has what's called a compensated trust fund, which incorporates all of the funds needed if everyone was to exercise that option.
So there's no way taxpayers are going to get hit by this
No,
in any way, shape, or form.
it's always factored into the overall budget for the year.
All right. I just want to make sure, because I saw some of these numbers, and I'm seeing 20, 25% pay increases. I don't even get 2%. I want to sign up for a job then.
Understood.
All right.
Thank you.
Anyone else care to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance alone? If not, I will close the public portion. May I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
Second.
Any discussion? I would just like to say that I have no problem whatsoever giving the employees of this building in this town a 3% raise. Normally, we give them 2%. This year, being cognizant of inflation, we decided that we would try to help them out as best as we can. Where I do have a problem is that there's two department heads in this ordinance that will be receiving a 20 to a 25% raise. I think that it's, number one, unprecedented. Number two, unfair to the balance of the employees in this town. May I have a motion to adopt the ordinance?
We have a motion by Councilwoman Pellegrin and seconded by Council President Ballestieri.
Okay, so then we need a roll call.
Yes.
Can I make a comment, Mayor?
Yes.
Just to clarify, I know we went through this last month, but just for the benefit for those watching this who didn't catch last month, just to give everyone the process, if an employee in the borough is in a union, that's what they get, whatever's in the union contract. Everyone in the salary ordinance is people who are not covered by a union. Every year, the council picks a number that is a cost of living adjustment or an increase, however you want to put it. Sometimes it's 2, sometimes it's 3. And every single year, at least that I've been involved, any employee on that list can request an audience before the mayor and council and make their case, state a case for why they, would like to be considered for a different kind of increase. That's happened every year. And I recall instances where the council said no, instances where the council took what they said under advisement and picked a different number, and times where the council agreed with the explanation. So I just want to be very clear that this is the same process every single year, and that the council made a decision based on those that asked to come forward this year. And at the end of the day, after this salary ordinance, I think that our department heads, taking each situation for what it is, are where that position should be in 2023 in North Jersey in a managerial supervisory position. There are, as far as I'm concerned, no offensive or outrageous numbers here. Minds can differ, but that's the process, and that's the process we follow every year. Thank you, Mayor.
Anyone else care to join in? Well, let me just say this, Mr. Goldenbeck. All the years I've been here, I have not seen any department head get a boost like that unless they went for additional credits, or if their position, they combined positions to where they were saving us a tremendous amount of money due to the fact that it's all going to one person instead. So I'm very disappointed with this. Every dollar that we spend is the tax dollars who are paid for by the taxpayers. So even though the $40,000 was there somewhere, maybe in surplus, the frugal thing to do would have been to get to the CFO first and see if the money was there. And I know for a fact that did not happen. So that puts us in this position now to where I feel it's very unfair to other department heads and the balance of the workers in Elmwood Park. Anyone else care to
I
speak?
just have one question for the Borough Administrator. Mr. Feligno, what is the tax increase this year on the municipal budget?
0.
I have a question. Mr. Foligno, do you, by any chance, have any idea what the tax increase might be for next year?
That's not I've talked to the CFO about that, based on next year's numbers, after speaking with the tax assessor and what the assessments are going to be.
Thank you.
Anyone else care to join in? Just on your last comment, the 0 was acquired for the last 2 years, and it's a great thing. The way it looks to the public, the 0 is nice, but we had 2 grants of $1 million and $1 million that we don't have this year. And let us not bank on revenues that are not in the pot yet. So our CFO told us already that probably based on a home that's valued at $335,000, there will be an increase from $200 to $400. I say it's more than that. Anyone else? Can hold it, Jeff. Mr. Sal, can the public come back into this at this point? Close. Okay. Yeah, Jeff, hold your thoughts for later on. We can't, it's not part of what we can do at this point. Okay, motion to adopt. We did that already? Now we need the roll call. We did it 3 times, as a matter of fact.
On roll call, we have Councilmembers Dennis,
Yes.
Patullo,
Yes.
Golubek,
Yes.
Pellegrin,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Council President Ballesteri.
Yes.
Motion carries. Now we have Resolution R-232-23, introduced ordinance number 23-19 on second reading, whereas the public notice has been given by the Borough Clerk that an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 6 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park entitled Alcohol Beverage Control, more specifically Section 6-4, Regulation of Licenses," was introduced and passed at a meeting held on Thursday, May 18th, 2023, and that further consideration of this ordinance will be taken up at this meeting. And whereas all persons interested in said ordinance were given an opportunity to be heard concerning the same, now therefore it be it resolved by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Elmwood Park that an ordinance entitled, "An Ordinance of the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, amending Chapter 6 of the Code of the Borough of Elmwood Park entitled Alcohol Beverage Control, more specifically Section 6-4, Regulation of Licenses," passed on final reading.
May I have a motion to open to the public?
So moved.
Second.
Anyone from the public here to speak on this ordinance and this ordinance alone? If not, I'll close the public portion. May I have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
First by Council President Ballesteri, second by Councilman Fasolo. On roll call, we have Councilmembers Dennis,
Yes.
Fasolo,
Yes.
Golubek,
Yes.
Pellegrin,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Council President Ballesteri.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to the consent agenda, we have resolutions R-233-23, authorized vacation buyback, R-234-23, appoint part-time seasonal worker, Department of Public Works, R-235-23, appoint part-time seasonal worker, Department of Public Works, R-236-23, approve Elmwood Park Fire Department stipend program, first quarter compensation, R-237-23, designating bus stops on municipal roads, R-238-23, renew liquor license for the 2023-2024 license term, R-239-23, approve 2023-2024 new and/or used car dealership licenses, R-240-23, resolution supporting the Bergen County Fire Mutual Aid Plan in the Borough of Elmwood Park, County of Bergen, State of New Jersey, R-241-23, authorizing appointment of municipal representatives to the Bergen County Community Development Regional Committee. R-242-23, a resolution authorizing the Borough of Elmwood Park, VFW Auxiliary, to run a fundraising activity during all summer concerts and events the borough sponsors, which proceeds will be to fund the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, and authorize the administrator to endorse the license documents for raffle license filed by the VFW Auxiliary and accept the donations results of their activities. R-243-23, maintenance of 46 Grove Street. R-244-23, maintenance of 100 Florence Place. R-245-23, maintenance of 141 Broadway. R-246-23, appointment of Recreation Department staff. R-247-23, appointment of Recreation Department staff. R-248-23, appointment of Recreation staff for the 2023 summer program, Recreation Department. R-249-23, appointment of Recreation staff for the 2023 summer program, Recreation Department. R-250-23, resolution to refund tax court judgment. R-251-23, approval of payroll. R-252-23, approval of bills list. R-253-23, resolution to approve the consent agenda.
May I have a motion on the consent agenda? Need a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Mayor, I have a question.
Yes.
R-242-23, it's a resolution authorizing, I guess, the VFW to fundraise on behalf of the borough. I'm a little confused about this resolution. It wasn't discussed during a work session, and I have quite a few questions. Is this something that we can table for the next work session so we can properly discuss it?
Councilwoman, let me say this. This here is so that the VFW, at certain occasions, can do a 50-50 to generate money for the Vietnam Soldiers Memorial. Now, why would want to
So, Mayor,
stop that at this point? Any questions? Why don't we just do it now?
so it wasn't at a work session, so I get this packet, I'm reading through it, I have quite a few questions about it, and just in reading the resolution alone, it looks like, are we giving away our permission to fundraise to someone else? How much money are you looking to raise? If they're fundraising, what cost is the borough absorbing? Like this just wasn't a discussion, that's all I'm saying. And if I had an
Well, let's
opportunity to
discuss
discuss it, I would have asked all these questions instead of just kind of like throwing it on the resolution. I
Well, being that
wanted
we
my
only have
questions answered.
two meetings a month, let's have the discussion now, because if this doesn't pass, that means that the first night that we have our concert, they won't be able to go out and see if they can raise money for the 50-50.
I
Now,
believe
do you
it
wanna-
also says it's also going to be at all other borough events, so it's just not concerts. So I looked at the calendar before I even said something, and I said, if our first borough event was, if the first borough event is July 6th, wrong calendar, July 11th, and this is added to the work session, essentially it would just miss maybe one or two events for us to properly discuss this and just get a better understanding of what the resolution is. I don't, again, how much money are we looking to raise? Like, how much money is needed for the memorial to go up?
Well, we're short quite a bit right now.
How much?
Well, it depends on what comes in as a donation in terms of the work that is going to be done, donated. We have the money for the statue itself right now, so that's behind us. So we need additional funds for the plaques, for lighting, for benches, things like that. So this here would be a great area to raise money and set aside some of those needs.
So I guess my thing is, we're paying for someone to fundraise? Is that what this is saying?
No,
to
we're not
us?
paying nobody.
Because it says that the borough is going to absorb any fees, and where is this?
Sal, would you like to chime in here, please?
Sure. This is a permission which is required for anyone to participate in any of activities that are conducted by the municipality. The VFW Auxiliary, Women's Auxiliary, wish to have 50-50s on each of the events that occur during the summer for the concerts, so that that money, as raised, will be given to the municipality to fund the Veterans Memorial. The problem is that they have to receive a license for the raffle, the 50/50. By that, it means that they would have to get this resolution. The resolution has to authorize the event, their participation, and also requires the municipality to appoint someone, which will be the chief or the BA, technically, to be able to accept the funds donated. Without that, the event cannot be done. So expense-wise, there is no expense to the borough. There is no expense to the VFW other than their time and actually purchasing, which will be at their expense, to purchase the raffle book, the raffle rolls of whatever those raffles are, the little tickets, and the raffles will be done that night, the 50/50, and the 50% that's collected will be donated to the borough.
And is the borough appointing someone to oversee the raffle?
Excuse me?
Is the borough appointing someone to oversee the raffle? Since we're having them do it on our behalf, are we going to have someone there to ensure that this is being done properly?
The raffle will be run by the VFW
Okay.
auxiliary. The VFW auxiliary will then give the accounting to the borough and the 50/50 split on what the borough gets.
So this resolution is just asking, I'm sorry, this resolution is just asking for the borough's permission
Yes.
to have the raffle. It's not asking for us to cover any costs or anything like that.
Can I say something?
Hold on, let it finish.
No, just the permission for them to participate in doing the 50/50 on the particular events. That's
So
it.
they're doing it. They're in charge of this
Yeah,
whole
yeah,
thing. So
yeah.
it just reads that they're doing it on behalf of us, like we're giving them the
No.
power to do it for
No.
us. So if we're going to do that, then
No.
we have to have someone
What they're
oversee it. That's the
doing
way
is-
it's reading.
No, what they're doing is requesting the permission to do it,
Okay.
and they're running it, and then they will give the funds to the borough.
Okay, and we're just saying, yes, you can fundraise at our events.
Yes.
That's what
all you're
this is.
doing.
Okay.
And
what I
as a
need to
matter
know.
of
Good.
fact, that's covered. I've also, in view of this, I've also had discussions with the insurance carrier on it. They have no problem.
Okay, that's what I need.
It's a nonprofit organization, setting it up for the borough. The only problem is the time sequence for the licensing, because they have to get the licensing before they.
Right,
can
they
do
have
it.
to hold it here and all that stuff.
And they're spending their money for the licensing, they're spending the money for the event itself and whatever expenses there are related to it, and that money is their responsibility, it has nothing to do with the borough.
Thank you, Sal.
We're good?
Yes.
Call the roll? Anyone else want to speak on this, or are we good to go? Okay, call the roll.
First by Pellegrini, second by Council President Ballesteri. On roll call, we have Council Members Dennis,
Yes.
Patillo,
Yes.
Golubek,
Yes.
Pellegrini,
Yes.
Sheridan.
Yes.
Council President Ballesteri.
Yes.
Motion carries. Next, we have one standalone resolution. Through you, Mayor, I will read it by title only. We have Resolution R-254-23, a resolution appointing a redactor officer pursuant to NJSA 47:1B-1 et sec, and in compliance thereto known as the Daniels Law.
Mr.
Prior to this meeting, we have a pre-agenda meeting, and we realize that this is incomplete. I'll give you over to our attorney to explain further.
Upon presenting this, because this was discussed at a work session a couple of sessions back, and I was going to prepare the particular ordinance, resolution, actually. This particular resolution is per state statute. You're required to do this. Unbeknownst to me, And today, I was informed that the CFO, Mr. Roy Rigatano, and Lori Spariro have already been doing this on behalf of the borough. There is some confusion about it, and I believe that under the circumstances, I would prefer if the council would table this in order that we can address it at the work session, the upcoming work session, so that Mr. Rigatano and Lori can have their input on this. So, at this juncture, I would request
A motion to
a
table.
motion to table.
Motion to table.
Second.
All in favor?
I'll call the roll. Tabled by Councilman Fasolo, second by Councilwoman Pellegrini. On roll call, we have Councilmembers Dennis,
Yes.
Fasolo,
Yes.
Golubek,
Yes.
Pellegrini,
Yes.
Sheridan,
Yes.
Council President Ballasteri.
Yes.
Motion carries. Moving on to departmental reports, we have the Library Board meeting minutes from April 17th, 2023, and the Board of Health meeting minutes from April 10th, 2023.
May I have a motion to accept the department head, excuse me, reports? Any discussion?
I need a second. You have a second? Okay, thanks.
All in favor?
Okay, moving on, reports accepted. Moving on to applications, we have the St. Leo's RC Church raffle license for October 7th, 2023, and the Elmwood Park Football Bombers calendar raffles starting September 1st, 2023 through November 30th, 2023.
May I have a motion to accept?
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? Call the roll, I'm sorry, all in favor? Got one edit.
Okay, application accepted. At this time, Mayor, I'm going to turn the meeting over to you for council reports.
Okay. Let's start off with Councilwoman Ballasteri. What?
Progress.
Doesn't matter.
That's again.
Council President
It's okay. I
Ballasteri.
said progress already.
Okay.
That must be.
Councilwoman Dennis.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to congratulate Mr. Pressler and Mr. Milokovic again on their 50 years of service. Zuz is not here, but thank them again, or thank you for their continued community service to Elmwood Park. We really appreciate their service. At the rec center, we have our summer kickoff party, our very first foam party on Friday, June 23rd, 8 p.m., I believe, over at the rec. It's a free event for everyone. There's also a Saturday Midnight Madness event taking place at the rec center on the following Saturday, the 24th, from 8 p.m. to midnight, $5 admission. Camp starts on June 26th. There's less than 5 spots available, so if you haven't signed your child up yet, sign up as soon as possible. The apprenticeship program has now launched. Please check online for flyers and details on how your child can apply. And this Saturday, we have our multicultural festival, weather permitting. We have over 30 vendors, music, bouncy houses, and more. Looking forward to seeing everybody outside on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. Progress, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilman Golubek.
Thank you, Mayor. Just want to thank and commend everyone involved in the Memorial Day Parade. It's a beautiful tradition, annual tradition in Elmwood Park. Some communities don't do it anymore. Some communities have not been able to pick up after COVID, and it is something very special we have in Elmwood Park. So kudos to everyone involved. Looking forward to the Multicultural Festival, looking forward to the concerts, a lot of good community engagement. I forgot to thank the ASEZ Association for coming in during their cleanup. If some people recall, when they first came into Elmwood Park, some members of the community, which may or may not be in this audience, sending us articles about how they're a cult, they're a conspiracy, all this like totally Looney Tune stuff, and they turn out to be such a tremendous help to our community. So I actually do want to commend you, Councilwoman Pellegrini, for continuing that tradition of bringing them into Elmwood Park. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you. Councilwoman Pellegrini.
Yes, Residents Assistance Program update. On June 4th, the Azez volunteers did a townwide cleanup for our community. Over 30 volunteers participated in the cleanup. We thank them all for their dedication to our community. Also, a big thank you to our police department and Angela Fava for helping to organize that event. Today, the Residence Assistance Program hosted a luncheon to thank all those who donate to our program, to those in need. It was a very special afternoon with them, and it was just a day filled with love and kindness. Those were people there that really care about our community. They give so much of their time, and it was just a very special day. The mayor stopped in, Councilwoman Sheridan was there, and it was just really a special day. So I thank everyone for coming out for that. Chamber of Commerce update. Please join us for a kickoff event for the Elmwood Park Chamber of Commerce, Tuesday, June 20th at 6:30 p.m. at the VFW 6 Veterans Place in Elmwood Park. Learn about what the Chamber of Commerce can offer for your business, network with other local businesses, and much more information will be shared. Come join us for a very special evening. I want to thank Andrew Tesolano for spearheading this, and I want to thank our attorney, Sal Angrafia, for helping with this event and helping us kick this off and get started. As we all know, the chamber, broke up a few years ago, and we're really trying to put it back together, and Andrew's been working very hard to do that. He contacted me as the liaison. We met with Sal to see what's the procedure, how do we get this started up again. So we had a lot of interest, and we're going to meet with the businesses on Tuesday and see what we can do to get our chamber back. It will be great for our businesses and great for our community. So thank you, Andrew. Thank you, Sal. And hopefully that we can get this started up again, and it'll be bigger and better, and we have more growth in that area. So thank you. Progress.
Getting that organization back on its feet would be
Yes.
very helpful.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sheridan?
Thank you, Mayor. I have a couple things. The Elmwood Park Homeowners Association is going to Wind Creek Castle on Friday, June 23rd. The bus will leave at 10 o'clock at the rec center, return around 7 p.m. The trip is $50 with a $35 cash voucher. If anyone is interested, can you please call Linda at 201-966-7694. Also, I have, as far as the Memorial Day Parade, I thought everything went very well. The weather was fine. Everybody seemed to have a good time. A lot of people weren't that tired because a lot of people were on floats. I mean, we all had a good time. It was great. Last night, we had our first Flag Day. I want to give a big thank you to the police chief and his force for everything. Chief, thank you. Thank you to your officers. For the DPW, Scott, we had 2 of his employees, great kids. The fire department, Chief Bruce, everybody that was there, the Boys and Girls Scouts. I just want to give a big thank you from the Elks Lodge, the Elmwood Park Patterson Elks Lodge, number 60, and myself, a big thank you to everyone. And the weather kind of didn't help us. But next year, hopefully, we'll make it bigger and better, and everybody else seemed to come together and give us another reason for this town to come together.
A shame about the rainout with the Flag
Yeah, we
Day.
only had another 10 or 15 minutes to go, and it would have been done.
That was excellent, though. The imagery was perfect. The setting was perfect, much better than inside.
Yes, yes.
And the way the devil would have it, the sunshine when we first get there, the sun's beaming through. 20 minutes later, clouds. Go ahead,
But
Lorraine.
Mayor, at the end, even though it started raining, everything was beautiful. But if you got into your cars and you looked, I saw the most magnificent rainbow I've ever seen in my entire life. It was beautiful, and that signifies, peace and hope. So I thought it was a beautiful way to end the ceremony.
Now, being that I'm nicknaming you Miss Lucky, at the end of that rainbow, was there a pot of gold? All right.
Her world it was.
Anything else?
That's it, progress.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilman Fasolo.
It's forgetting me all night, man.
Yeah, I can't forget that.
I also want to thank ASEZ. I didn't get the chance to while they were here. For all they do for our community, they turned out to prove a lot of people wrong, and they do a lot of good for our community. So thank you again.
Thank you, Councilman. I've had a busy week, along with some council people up here. Had the opportunity to present 2 awards to 2 students that are graduating at the high school the other night. The awards were athletic and academic based, and that went very well. It was a lengthy procedure, though, 2 hours. Today, we had a senior lunch with Chef Dennis, a renowned chef that has actually fed presidents and a huge amount of dignitaries. Prior to that, I had the privilege of coming to the RAP. That was also a luncheon? Luncheon. And I was kind enough to be allowed to say a few words to those people. And once again, to the Elks Club, who are really dedicated to Flag Day. And it's a shame we did get that rain, but I want to commend that organization. We got Veterans Day, we got, what's the other day? Memorial Day, thank you. But why should we have a Flag Day? And they were explaining why. They do that each and every year, how we got to our flag the way we know it today, and how it evolved from back at 1777. Very interesting. So it's a shame that we couldn't finish that ceremony. But there's always next year, and hopefully, if it's outside, it doesn't rain. With that, may I have a motion to open to the public for comments?
Second.
Anyone from the public here to speak on any item whatsoever? Please keep your speeches down to at least 5 minutes, and let's all be very, very civil to each other. I'm sure that's all our makeup. I'm not pointing you out. I'm just a general statement, so. Your name, please.
Andrew Tisolano, 49 Cape Avenue. I had a question about the vacation buyback. Do they have like unlimited how much they can accumulate, or do they have a cap where they can not accumulate anymore?
It depends on the contract that the person falls under or the salary ordinance. So there's probably about 3 or 4 different versions throughout the borough.
So are there any that they can accumulate forever, or does everyone have
Accumulate or buy back?
accumulate their vacation? Is there someone that can?
Well, are you asking how much
Can
they
they
can buy back? or how much
accumulate an undefined amount of vacation days?
They cannot accumulate an undefined amount.
Okay.
They can buy back certain departments or department heads or
But
unions.
they have to buy back, that's the thing. Otherwise.
They don't
would
have
lose.
to, they can, but
So
there's
they
a
would
cap to
lose-
what they
would
can.
lose it if they don't buy back?
Use it or lose it after a certain amount.
Okay, that's my question. All right, thank you. That's good.
Anyone else care to speak on any subject whatsoever?
Jeffrey Freitag, 35 Hillman Drive, Elmwood Park. My question, and I know it was discussed already, but I'm a little cloudy here as to what it is. On Section 2, Department and Head and Non-Union Employees, I understood when I looked at this at first this afternoon late, is that these were simply ranges that people could be hired at and that people could eventually get to, much as many jobs are.
Steps.
Well,
Like
I don't know the steps, but however there is that, I mean, there are many of these that are advertised in newspapers the same way as this looks. So, now, if they're paid whatever the amounts are on here, it's not all pensionable?
No.
And
Vacation buyback is not.
so,
A vacation buyback is not credited towards your pension.
So
Only
now-
your base salary
That
that
I
is
am-
reported to pensions by Human Resources is pensionable. And that gets vetted by the Division of Pensions and Benefits.
okay, so the vacation buybacks are included in the second amount?
They're included in the entire, so the person has what their floor is that they can make, and then if they were to exercise all their buybacks based on their specific situation, can earn up to whatever that max is, right? But that whole amount is not counted towards their pension.
Okay, so it's safe to assume then that the figure on the left prior to the hyphen is what the salary is.
Generally
The
speaking,
base
so,
salary.
yes.
Generally, meaning some aren't.
I mean, I'd have to look at everyone before I gave you a definitive answer on that. If that's what the person is earning right now, or if that's what they entered at, I don't know how he wrote that on there. But generally speaking, that's what they're earning, and then what they can earn if they were to exercise all of the benefits within their agreement.
Benefits meaning just the vacation buybacks.
There's vacation, there's some people who can buy back holidays, and in certain circumstances, sick time.
Okay, so it wouldn't include like a stipend or something like that.
Stipend, yeah, whatever's incorporated in their employment agreement, contract, all in, that's what they can earn up to.
So then when it was talked about extensively, I know at the last meeting, the work meeting, about 25% pay increases, it wasn't a 25% pay increase on the base. It was simply raising that amount.
Are you talking about the two that were?
Yeah, the two, I don't even know who the two are.
That's separate and distinct. That was increases on the employees' base salaries.
So then that would be the figure then on the left side, I would assume, that
Correct.
went up 20 or 25%.
Correct.
Okay. And there were two department heads that got that.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Anyone else care to speak?
Mike Bufus, 14 Philip Ave again. First, I just want to address Mike Foligno and just want to say thank you for taking care of the situations of the abandoned vehicles in both parking lots of the abandoned restaurants. They're all gone, thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you for your patience.
No problem. However, I'm hoping we're still working on a gas station because now he's bringing construction equipment in the last couple of weeks.
We're on.
All right? Now the real Mike Bufus comes out. All this money we're talking, I'm still waiting. Come November, is going to be 3 years that I handed this council concrete, black and white evidence of an illegal apartment. And it's still there. And I know Steve Coaches sent them summonses. They got bounced. They got pushed out of court again. Are we ever going to get to this? Do you know how? If we cracked down or had a code enforcement officer that could check this, I know when I ran for council years ago, I went to houses that had 5, 6 mailboxes on them, and they probably still do. You know, it's not fair to the people that have a single-family home or a two-family home that are paying taxes on a 1 or a 2-family, where somebody's got a 2-family collecting 3 rents and they're not paying on 3 rents. The town's not collecting fine money on that. Where does it end?
Mr. Bufus, I apologize. I didn't know it was still going on.
Yeah.
And I will have them immediately reinvestigate.
This November, the last time, 3 years ago, I brought in the concrete proof, which said $1,200 a month rent. Had photographs for multiple listings showing a refrigerator, a bedroom, a bathroom. It's still there. Number 10, Philip. It's still there. I mean, sooner or later, it's got to end, right? Salute. I caught it. Don't ever hold a sneeze and you blow your inner eardrum. Track fact from Kenny Fine. What else I was going to say? Landscapers in town. Are they supposed to have their business name on their vehicles and license numbers?
So if they have commercial plates, they have to have a placard that advertises their business.
If they don't have commercial plates, but they still have pesticides or sprays for the lawn, shouldn't they have a pesticide license on their trucks?
I believe so.
Okay.
Do you have one that doesn't?
Yeah, but I don't want to say because the last time I opened my mouth, somebody else got mad at me. Because there are some that come up my block.
Send me an email of whatever it is and we'll get on it.
Well, there are a couple that work on my block.
Okay.
And not only do they do that, but I had one guy block my driveway one day when I came home. I wanted to get in, move your truck. I got a 50-foot trailer. Where do you want me to go? I want to get in my driveway. His answer to me, I didn't know what time you were coming home. What difference does that make? You're blocking my driveway. Block the house where you're working. I had one block my driveway the other day. I wasn't home, my wife was home, but he was cutting lawn 4 houses down from me. Why don't you block down there? Plus, I got the 3 empty lots next to me. You could have blocked there. I mean, if they don't have a license number on the truck or a name, maybe if a patrol car passes by, they could just get out and say, listen, you know, did you pay to do it? Because I know they have to get a certificate or whatever, a permit to work in town. They could always start from there. If they don't have the permit, now you can see, you have a pesticide license or anything like that? Yeah. More income for the town to pay those $20,000 salaries, which, believe me when I tell you, $20,000 1 year is criminal. But thank you anyway.
Thank you, Mike. Anyone else care to speak? If not, I will close the public portion. Sal, I believe we're done for the evening. Am I correct? You have nothing for... What that? Thank you. All right, with that said, then I will call for a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.